that message. I'm going to mute everybody. And I think I did that properly. And we'll just get started. So we'll just take the legs apart, lean back a little on the hands, and just start moving through the ankles. And let the movement come up into the knees, into the hips. You want to get both directions here, and we'll just do a few more. So, we can work mainly from the ankle, right? And there's the effort down at the ankle. And we can also work a bit more from the thigh to move the knees back and forth. So we get to warm up the muscles both ways. And let's just slow down, stretch the legs out, and just lightly bounce the knees. Okay, and then when we're ready, let's pull the knees up, lean back a little more on our hands. When the legs come up, just ease them over to one side, then the other. And we'll slow it down a little bit so the back has the opportunity to respond. Now, once we drop the knees to the right, let's bring the left hand over the right side. Just put some weight on the hands and lower down. Now make sure the joints are comfortable here, the right knee, the right hip. We'll press up as we inhale. Shift the hands, we'll take the legs left. Right hand comes over, we'll lower down again. And the inhale will bring us up. We're going to go back to the right. We're going to lower down again. See if you can find a slightly different angle. So not coming down exactly with the weight in the same place. Perhaps moving a bit more toward the left knee. And pushing up as we breathe in. Traveling again to the left. Different angle as we lower down. And with an inhale, coming forward, switching sides. So now, rather than lower down, let's stay tall. We'll use our fingertips here. Place the chest, the torso above the hips. Take a moment to sink the tailbone, and then simply turn a bit further to the right. And with our inhale, we'll turn forward. We'll switch the legs. On the left side, using fingertips, rotating a bit further left, and feel where the torso is, keeping it above the hips, so we can let the tailbone drop down. And inhale, we'll travel back over to the right side. So we'll stay tall. Now we'll turn to the right again, just for a moment, just to find the core body, find the height through the center, and then walk the fingertips around toward the left side. So we're going to now carefully turn toward the left. And don't overturn. At some point, it gets complex in the hips. We want to keep it simple. Want that feeling of the hips being able to lower down. And now let's ease back into our center and then change sides. Once we're over our left side, on our fingertips, we'll rotate further to the left. Find our core body, making those adjustments. And then walking the fingertips around toward the right side and turning toward the right. And then just releasing, we'll come toward our center, and then we'll bring the legs up. And once we've got the legs up, let's just stretch them out again and take them out in front, not as wide as we began, but again, we'll just bounce the knees for a little bit here. And then let the knees and the feet turn outward, pull the feet in a bit. So now we've got our knees bent, they're more open than 90 degrees. So we can get the heels basically in front of our sit bones and gently press outward through the legs. And then from here, land the fingertips. So press on the fingertips, lengthen the arms, lift up tall. Find the hips, want to add weight to the hips. And when you're ready, just lift one foot, then the other. It's really easy to sink down, to lean back, and we want to be aware of that and see if we can just keep ourselves tall. So keeping lifting upward through the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the ribs. And then just let the legs rest here and then shoot them out long, give them another bounce. And then pull up the right leg. So bring the foot close and wrap the opposite arm around the leg, and just for a moment, hugging the leg with the arms. And we're going to turn the ribs toward this lifted thigh and just work the ribs around. We'll bring ourselves close to the thigh. We'll stay strong in the straight leg. So now the right hand, we'll just reach forward. We'll reach up. Take the moment to lengthen from palm down into the hip. And then as you exhale, sweep the arm behind and we'll look back. See if you can press softly on that right foot as you extend up the back. And let's relax and move forward and switch sides. So we brought up the left leg. We're going to turn the ribs toward the thigh, hug ourselves close to the thigh. Add a little bit of weight to the sole of the left foot. And then we'll take the left arm forward. We'll reach up. And with our exhale, take the hand back. Either we've got the fingertips touching or we'll wrap the hand around the back. Okay, and let's release forward. Now, get both legs out in front. You can bring the knees up a bit. Slip the hands under the thighs, put the palms down, and then start to add some weight onto the arms. And once you're adding weight, just pause long enough to make sure we're relaxed in the arms and shoulders. And then as we release the back, we can add more weight onto the forearm. Okay, and then bringing the knees up so we can get the arms out. And then once we've released ourselves, stretch out the left leg again. Bring the right foot in, but now not as close into the body. So think of the ankle down around the knee. And then we'll take the right hand on the shin. We're going to take our left arm right out in front and gently pressing. And then reach up tall. So though the shoulder goes forward, the spine stays upright. We want to avoid leaning forward. And we'll just get another breath or two here, really feeling into this place so we can get the weight even in the sit bones. And then use an inhale up by the ear and push up. Okay, and let's bring the arm back down to shoulder height. And now come across the body. So we'll keep the arm straight, past the knee, so kind of a little past that opposite shoulder, and press outward and turn to the side a bit. Stay in touch with the right foot. And then ease back toward the center. So think of this right or left hand in front of the right shoulder, and then bend and put the fingertips on the shoulder. Now our left elbow, reach out through the elbow. And we're going to let ourselves move forward, lean forward a little bit, and lengthen the neck so the chin tucks a little bit. We'll have the face looking downward. And the right hand, so it's easy on the leg. We want to avoid gripping so the work doesn't go into the right arm and shoulder. We keep the work in the core body. Okay, let's soften back. We'll ease ourselves vertical. And we'll change sides. So ankle, knee roughly lined up, hand easy on the arm. Right arm's going to go forward. We'll press out through that palm. We want the shoulder to move, but we want to feel upright. We want to work with that through our center. And now from here, we'll take the arm up by the ear, take the length. And let's bring the arm back down by the shoulder. And now reach out, so twist to the other side and push that arm forward. And just for a moment, we'll look out sideways here, press out. And let's soften back a little bit. We'll look forward. We're going to bend the elbow, and now the right fingertips touch the left shoulder, and we'll get that elbow pushing outward, carefully past the knee. Keep the grip soft on the left hand. And we're going to be looking downward, reaching along the neck. Okay, let's ease back. So once we're back, we'll get both knees lifted enough so we can slip our arms underneath. And let the hands rest down. Soften the arms and shoulders and add weight from the legs. Really allowing the shoulders, shoulder blades, the back to release here. Having the legs do the work. And also adjusting so we're not feeling a strain in the low back. Now let's soften the legs, lift the knees. We'll bring the arms out. And then we'll stretch out the left leg. Now we're going to bring in the right leg, but this time we're going to allow the right knee just to find a comfortable position off to the side. When we use this position for this right leg, we always want to be prepared to give it some padding. Sometimes the knee's not comfortable dropping down. So taking care of the right. Once we've done that, just rest both hands on the left. Now lengthen along the back body. Reach along the neck, have the chin a little tucked. We're not really using the arms. They're just resting on the leg, but we are reaching out along the spine. And as we reach out, we come a bit lower and we let the arms just work their way down the leg. We want to avoid using a lot of force from the arms. And once we've kind of taken the spine forward where it's able to go, then the hands find a place to hold. And still working with the spine lengthening itself, the arms can do just a little bit of work, just enough so we're moving the shoulders and the shoulder blades. So think of the elbows moving forward, spreading apart. So let's soften. Just relax the arms, relax the torso. We're going to let ourselves slide up a little bit. We're not coming all the way up. We'll just ease up a bit. So our first pass there, we were working on reaching the spine forward. Now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to let the back round down. And it's like we're trying to rest our nose, our face, down around our knee, roughly speaking. Forehead, perhaps. So really releasing the back so it can round here. Arms just useful. The arms can be very helpful for moving the elbows, moving the shoulder blades. Okay, and just soften and relax the back, and it'll start to lift up naturally. And then from there, we'll lift up the rest of the way. Now let's undo this right leg. Stretch it out. And sometimes after the leg's that bent, it likes to bounce a little bit. But when we're ready for the left side, we simply bring the foot in to the hips. We'll have the knee to the side. And we don't want to force the knee into a position that forces us to twist the hips. As much as possible, want our hips squared forward. So the hands touch the straight leg, slide down a little bit, and then to go further, rather than pull with the arms, we're going to lengthen along the back. And as we work with the back reaching longer, we will come lower. The hands can move down a little further. So we do have a little bit of a tuck to the chin. We do keep lengthening out. And then we can use the arms where the elbows press outward, forward. And now let's soften and come part of the way up. Just easing up a bit there. Let the hands find a natural place. And then round down and drop the head toward the knee. And then releasing, lifting ourselves up, undoing the legs. We're going to give them a little shake. And then from here, we're going to change our position. Rather than being seated, let's come to tabletop. So we'll be on the hands and the knees. And once we're here, drop the hips backward. And just lengthen the arms forward. Let's for a moment have the head not go to the ground, have the arms long, connect to the palms, and see if we can adjust our place. So we let the head hang, and we'll keep it just off the ground. So gently lift the shoulders up as we let this head, the upper back hang here. And then reach forward along the neck. Okay, now angle the fingers in just a little bit so the elbows can open apart. And then when you're ready to, just slide the weight forward, keeping the head low to the mat, just off the mat, having the elbows bend, and bring the head so we can see the thumbs. And once you see your thumbs and fingers, just push up again. And once you've pushed up, press the vertebra up, press the ribs up, push up in the shoulder blades. And we'll just tuck the neck here, tuck the chin. And then we're going to go back. We're going to sink the hips back. And keeping our arms long, dropping the head toward the mat. Don't let it touch. And then we're going to go again. We're going to spread the elbows. We'll keep the face low to the ground. Keep coming forward so you can see the thumbs and then pushing up again. And then once you've pushed up, press the spine up, the ribs up. And now here, stay up. And then let the spine sink down and look forward. Lift the heart, lift the shoulders as you release the spine down. And then reversing again. Back and forth. We'll get a couple more of these. And we keep the shoulders lifted. We let the hips move as the spine changes. And then last time, just coming to a neutral back. Now, bring the hands in a bit more so they're under the shoulders now, rather than being out in front. And then gentle weight through the fingers. Now we're going to do circles at the wrists. So move the shoulders off to the right and then forward, over to the left and back. So we're taking the torso in a circle around the wrists. I want to experience that movement of the weight through the wrists and the forearms. I want to keep it comfortable. And we're going to do one more circle, and then we're going to change direction. And we'll do one more circle, and we'll come back into the center. Once we get to the center, we're going to have the shoulders above the wrists. And now we're going to do a circle in the upper back, in the shoulders. So it's like the arms were the frame of a bicycle. And so we're going to treat our shoulders like we're circling that front wheel of the bicycle between the forks. So allowing the chest to go forward a bit and to sink down, to move back and then lift up. And then reversing that circle when we're ready. And then pausing. And when we pause, push the shoulders up, push the shoulder blades up, press the vertebra up, tuck the tailbone. Chin's a little tucked here. And just stay lifted and engaged for a moment. And then move just the tailbone back. And after it goes back a certain distance, it's going to move the sacrum and the hips, and let that happen. And then work your way slowly up the spine until we end up taking this reversal all the way up to the neck. The head lifts, the face goes forward. And then let's reverse again, moving from the tailbone again. It tucks in. And moving up through the hips, through the low back. And as we reverse the shape of the spine, let the hips and the back travel backwards. And as we get into this reversal of the spine, we're going to sink the hips down toward the heels. Now, if you've got the toes tucked under here, just flatten the feet and let the hips come as low as it's comfortable for the knees. And now let's see if the forehead wants to touch down. Let's release the arms and just pause here in our own version of child's pose. We'll get a couple of breaths here. And now from here, we'll pick ourselves back up again. Now bring the knees a bit in closer than hips width, because we're going to work one leg then the other. And so sometimes it also helps to have the hands just a bit wider than shoulder width. So let's start with the left leg. And just swing the leg back. Keep it bent. Just push up in the foot. And then swing that knee forward toward the face. And we'll just look at that knee. And we'll swing it back up again, lifting up shoulders. And then reversing. So there's 2. Let's see if we can do a total of 5 of these. And whenever we're finished, just resting the knee down. And just adjust the back so it does feel long. And now let's travel to the other side. So knee lifts, foot lifts, knees bent, foot's up toward the ceiling. And then just swinging that knee toward the nose, looking at the knee, and taking it back up again. And again, our total is 5. And then return the knee when you're done. And now let's go back, starting with the left leg, and take it out straight back from the hip, rather than bending the knee. Just work with the leg straight and lift in the shoulders. And just pause here for a moment, holding that leg where it feels internally. The heel's in line with the hips, and the hips feel level. Shoulders lift. And we're just going to take another breath or 2 to locate this place in our core. And then let's return that knee. And let's explore the right leg reaching back in the same way. Lifting in the shoulders, hips level, heels straight back from the hips. And now let's return the knee. And now move the knees apart. We'll release down into child's pose for a couple of breaths. And let's inhale up. Okay, so we'll put some of these things together. If we have our knees in closer than our hips, when we're ready, let's send that left leg straight back again from the hips. But now let's take the right arm straight forward. So we'll bring that right arm alongside the ear. If it's okay, we'll rotate through the shoulder, press out with the palm. So fingertips pointing downward, reaching forward in the hand, pushing back in the heel, lifting in our shoulders, lengthening along the neck. And let's return the hand, return the knee. And if you like, 1 or 2 cats and dogs, or just some movement in the back. See if the back would like some movement. And then let's prepare ourselves for the other side. So we'll send our right leg straight back from the hip, toes pointed down, shoulders lifted up, hips are level. And then also doing a bit of work with our tailbone. We get that tiny tuck to our tailbone. Now, when we're ready here, we'll take the left arm off the ground and the arms alongside the ear. We'll rotate through the shoulder, push out in the palm, lengthen along our neck. And we really want to work through hand to foot, through the core body, keeping all the places alive, that lift in the shoulder, the tuck at the tailbone, the extension from top to bottom. Okay, let's return the hand and return the knee. Now, if the toes are tucked under, we'll flatten the feet. We'll move the knees apart. We'll drop the hips down and we'll just release ourselves down into a child's pose for a couple of breaths. Okay, we'll bring ourselves up again. And again, we'll need the knees close. So for ourselves, deciding whether we want the toes tucked or the feet flat, they're both going to work. We want the same basic position, knees close, shoulders lifted. And from here, we'll take the we'll take the left leg back. Let's start with the left leg going back. We'll take the right arm forward again. But now, when you exhale, bring that left knee and right elbow together. And when you inhale, stretch them out. Now, we want to move slow enough that when we lengthen out again, we correct our posture. Inhales, lengthen, and exhales, bring knee and elbow close. Okay, we'll give ourselves one more. And then let's release back down. After we do that last one, we're going to return to child's pose. Especially make sure the neck is comfortable. So give the neck a chance to relax. Okay, let's come back up again and we'll do the other side. So again, knees are close. Before we begin, we want to reach up through the shoulders, get that feeling of lifting the back body upward. And then when we're ready to start, we'll reach back with the right leg, reach forward with the left arm. And once you're in position on the exhales, elbow and knee reach for each other. So we can count off 10 of these for ourselves. On the inhale, really getting ourselves back into that elongation. And when we're done, let's just set ourselves down in child's pose again. And now we'll come back up onto hands and knees. Okay, and we'll just use this for a transition. Now, what we're going to do is take our right knee toward our left hand. So just move the right knee over toward the left wrist and then sit down on that right hip. Now, you actually might want the other side so that you are able to face forward, but we can adjust here. So we've sat ourselves down. Now the back leg, just bring that foot in a bit closer. Play with where that foot needs to be. So the hip's comfortable, the knee's comfortable. This right hand, right knee, right hand, haven't really moved it anywhere, although certainly we're at the place where we can. And fingertips can be helpful here. Now the back knee, just bring it up and down. And we're moving slow enough so we can experience the sensation we're getting in our hip. Okay, our last one. And then simply relax that leg. So that was lifting the knee. Now, if we want to lift the foot, let's take both hands out past this front knee and we'll turn a bit here to the side and then just explore lifting the foot. So we can, although we've moved our torso toward the right, we've turned toward the right, we can, if we like, look back over this shoulder and look back toward the foot and we can see it lifting. Okay, we'll do our last one there. And now, keeping some weight here toward the right, lift the left leg, swing it out in front, and just sit down into the hip. And then pick up the right leg, swing it forward. And we end up with straight legs. And we're going to use this just to switch sides. So we're going to bring now the other leg in. We're leaning over and we're changing to the other side. So once we're here, make sure the placement works for the joints. And then we're going to call this the back leg. That knee's lifting. Okay, and last time, just relax the leg down. I'm going to move my hands over here. I'm going to start to turn my chest, but I'm going to look back over the shoulder, and then I can see that back foot. Okay, and then when you're done, just resting the leg, and we'll bring ourselves up a bit. We're going to switch sides the same way. So the back knee lifts and we just take out the leg. We come into our hips. The front knee lifts and we stretch out the leg. And just give the legs a little shake here. When you're ready to switch, okay. Now we're going to come lower down. So we'll come onto this side, stretch out the arm. We're going to come actually down 2 stages. The first stage, we're just on the forearm. And then once we're on the forearm, we'll work a little bit with the front leg here. And we'll see if we can get the foot to lift a little. Now, the knee, in my case here, is above the hip. Hip's about here. And then I'm going to try the knee down a bit lower so it lines up with the hip. And just play again with lifting the foot. So 2 places. And then after you've had both of those, just bring that lower foot in, lift the upper leg up. Now, once you bring the top leg into the air, put the hips one above the other. And you want to be really aware of where the weight's on this lower hip and make some adjustments. And we're going to bring it forward. We're going to bring it back. And then bring it about 45 degrees, right? So if you think of a line as a spine, it's about 45 degrees forward, and then just touch lightly, lift up, and we'll keep that 45-degree angle. And it's easy to sag through the torso, right? We can all feel that kind of sinking feeling. And we want the core really strong here. Okay, last lift. And once we're ready to, we'll just rest the leg down. Now the lower knee, pull it up higher, bend the top leg in. We're going to come lower down now. We're come all the way down onto this lower side. So use the lower hand to support the head. And once you get there, put the top knee, it's up above the ankle. So this top foot flat on the mat. And we're going to start working with this lower leg. What was the front leg? It's pretty much straight out from the hip, and we're lifting the foot. We've got much more range of motion here. On this top leg, as we work with the bottom one, keep gently pressed down onto the foot. And that's going to help stabilize the hip. Okay, and let's just relax that bottom leg. And let's come lower down. So what we'll do is use the upper hand to support the head. So take the lower arm away, upper arm, wrap the fingers around the ear, just let the head get nice and low. This lower arm and shoulder, this lower side, we want them as relaxed as we can. And when we're ready, we're going to lift the upper elbow and knee toward each other and then return them. So bring the effort to the core. And we don't need the shoulders, the arms, the neck to strain for this. They're going to participate, but at some point, we want the effort, that last bit, coming deeper in the core, into the hips, the thighs. Okay, we'll do our last one here. And once we're done, just let the knees ease down and we'll come up onto our hands. And we've got our legs in a very easy place. So all we'll do is lean back and just switch the legs to that same easy place. And now we're going to come down onto the forearm. We're going to move the knees apart. We'll stay at the forearm. We're going to start with this leg. And in the beginning, the knee is up higher than the hip. And then pausing, move the knee further down. So think of the knee, adjust for yourself. So the knee looks like it's coming straight out of the hip. And then try another set. We want to have strength in the belly here. Okay, last one, and just relax that foot down, pull the foot in a little bit, release this top leg off, take it in the air, and once you get it up, get the hips one above the other, make any adjustments so we're comfortable on this lower hip. And then gently just move the leg forward and then carefully take it back. Don't overextend. Okay, we'll bring it forward and then we'll bring it back to it's about 45 degrees from the line of the spine. So finding that place for ourselves. And the foot just lightly touches, doesn't really put any weight onto the ground. So we'll do one more. And then once we're done, we'll bring that leg in and we're going to come lower down. So we'll come all the way down on the side. The lower hand supports the head. We'll position this top leg so the foot's flat, knees above the foot, keep a little weight there. And then once again, we're going to bring that lower foot up and down. Okay, and then just releasing. And now we'll go one step lower where the upper hand supports the head, reaching around that lower ear. Always reminding ourselves to not overwork through the shoulders, the shoulder blades here. And we'll do one more. And now when we're complete, let's just release ourselves onto our back. So just adjusting so that we can bring the back body on the mat, the head rests down. We've got the feet flat on the ground. And just giving our body a chance to rest in this position for a breath or two. Okay, with an exhale, bring the knees up. Have the hands hold the knees. Move the knees apart. Just let go in the legs so the arms take their weight. Find the sacrum flat. And now, bring the knees close together and then roll over to the side. So once we're on the side, the lower knee moves down, the top knee moves up, so the knee rests on the ground. And the lower hand, just bring it down by the knee. Now the upper hand, take the palm behind the head. Turn the face toward the ceiling and see if you can rest the head down on the hand. Now we do want the upper knee to rest down on the ground. So the lower arm, you may want to rest its weight on that upper knee. And the upper foot just hooks behind the lower leg. And as we adjust the legs, at this point, just tuck the tailbone a bit, bring some energy into the low belly. And then with that upper hand, maybe help the neck lengthen. And then let's use the eyes. We'll look down the top side of the body. Now that upper elbow, bring it up toward the ceiling, move it a bit closer to the head, turn the head and that arm just a little bit toward the other side. And then take the elbow back and open. So keep the eyes looking down, and we'll move the elbow to a small range of motion. A couple more times. And then when the elbow is open out to the side, just pause there. And again, adjust head and neck. Eyes downward. And see if that top knee has settled onto the ground. And if it has, maybe let that lower arm just fall off that leg and rest on the mat. Now, the upper hand, just slide it out and up from underneath the head, lower the head to the mat, and then that upper arm, stretch it out long alongside the ear and rotating the arm, gently pressing outward. Now that lower arm, move it upward so it's straight out from the shoulder. And then bend that elbow about 90 degrees and just let the palm be up toward the ceiling. Now, pressing out through the upper arm, rotating the arm. And then move that upper arm away from the ear, out to the side, moving carefully. Find the place where the shoulder rotates, starts to drop down. And now that upper arm relax, bend the elbow, bring the arm back to the torso, and then release onto the back again. And now for the other side, let's begin by drawing the knees in and let the arms hold the weight of the legs. Find the sacrum flat. And then bring the knees together and we'll roll to the other side. So take the lower knee down, the top knee up, put the top foot, and let's just start by resting the lower arm on that top leg. And we'll take the hand behind the head. So letting the head rest on the palm, use the eyes to look down the top side, tuck the tailbone, and then that upper elbow, just bring it closer to the head, bring it a little bit over the center line, the head turning. And then as you're ready to, open the elbow out to the side. And repeating. And then when the elbow is open, just pausing there. Now we don't want to turn the head. We're going to keep face towards ceiling. Use the eyes to look down the top side. And that lower arm, if it's okay, just let it rest on the ground if we don't need the weight on the knee. Now let's slide the upper hand out from underneath the head. And then stretch the arm out alongside the ear, rotating the arm, working out through the palm. And then the lower arm, slide it up so it's straight out from the shoulder, and then bend the elbow to 90 degrees. The palm is up toward the ceiling, and just relax that lower arm. And on the upper arm, let's move it away from the ear. Moving out somewhere around 45 degrees. We feel the shoulder shift, shoulders able to start to release down. And on the upper arm, relax, bend the elbow, bring the arm back to the torso, and then coming onto the back body. We'll bring our knees in, hands holding the knees, relaxing the legs, opening the knees apart, and positioning the legs where the sacrum just comes flat on the mat. Now let's lift the feet up so the heels are about knee height. And then energize the legs and gently press them wider apart, just that little bit. Press the sacrum down flat. And then bring the arms alongside the ears. So both arms reach out alongside the ears, rotate the arms, push out through the palms. So lengthen the neck, look downward with the eyes, move the shoulders, shoulder blades upward, let the back release on the mat. And then add a bit of energy in the core to press the sacrum against the mat. And then bring the arms up, and then over, take hold of the knees again, relax the legs. Bring the knees a bit closer, and then let the feet fall to the ground. Let the arms rest on the ground out to the sides. Let's extend down one leg, then the other. Adjusting so we can relax the body onto the mat. Becoming aware of our breathing. Taking our time to breathe from the collarbones to the pubic bone. Now let's move again in our fingers, in our toes, moving in our ankles and our wrists. Reaching out with the arms, stretching down the legs, doing a lengthen in the back body. And when we're ready, with an exhale, draw the legs in, holding on, we'll rock side to side. And then we'll take ourselves to either side. Coming up as we're ready. Namaste.